What's good, YouTube? I gotta make this video because listen, I'm a grown man, you know. I speak the truth everywhere I go, whether it's on here, whether it's out in public. Everything I see, I look for the truth, okay? And this is what I see. You know, you could be phenomenal at one thing and be lacking in other areas, correct? We all know this. This is about Floyd Mayweather and his mental process. Remember I told you, I know body language. I can see if somebody is slow. I can see if there's a problem with somebody as soon as I talk to them. I can see if they're nervous in real life. I can see if a nigga is automatically shy. I can see if a nigga don't give a fuck. I can see all this shit by just having a simple, hey, what's up? It's that serious. And this is what I see in Mayweather. I spoke about it before with my cousin, but like I said, I noticed the body language. He doesn't notice it as much as I do, but he ended up realizing it, you know. We wonder why Mayweather does all this crazy shit outside the ring, right? I don't like talking about it because it's outside the ring. I'm here for boxing. But I'm not blind to it, you know? Like, for instance, this is 100. This is 100 with all my subscribers, with all the people who are fans of Floyd Mayweather. If you're a fan of me, you're a fan of Floyd. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. To be honest with you, Mayweather lacks the same skill that Michael Jackson was lacking. Listen to what I say here. Lacking the same skill Michael Jackson was lacking. Okay? When you are doing a profession that you have been doing since a child, literally both of these motherfuckers, right? You tend to lack the nourishment of childhood. You see what I mean? They say Floyd was never able to really go outside. He wasn't able to chew candy. He wasn't able to go out and play with his sisters after school. You know, after a while it started to bother him, but he didn't have a choice. Father made the rules, you go into the gym, you know? This is the truth. Michael Jackson, he never had a chance to go anywhere. That nigga came home. He said them niggas used to come home from school, drop their book bags, practice for an hour, take off on the road somewhere, perform for like 6-7 hours, come back home, do their homework, and go to bed, and do it all over again. Do you have any idea what type of life that is? You know, Mayweather, come straight home, go to the gym. Come from the gym, go straight home. You have no other life outside of this. So technically, even though you're not, balling, technically you're already a grown man. You see, it's reversed for these guys, you know. You remember Michael Jackson at one point, he ended up bringing like all the Disney characters to his house, if you guys remember that shit. And being a true diehard fan, we had no idea what to do besides just accept it. You know, we couldn't do anything besides just accept what the fuck he was doing because we held him in such high regards, you know. But you know, growing older, I'm still wondering, like, nigga, why the fuck does this, you know, you a grown-ass man, dog. Why the fuck, you know, and you're making it seem like you're 3. I'm going to be honest, and I love Michael Jackson to the death, greatest entertainer of all time. Be careful. All my friends know, be careful when you speak about Michael around me, you know what I mean? Seriously, end up flipping on a nigga. That's real talk. Careful. It's just how I am. It's how I've always lived my life. Careful when you talk about Mike. But that's my boy. I'm able to criticize him. But seriously, it was like, it didn't make much sense, you know. Outside the bedroom holding the baby over the banister, grown man shit. You don't hold no fucking baby over no banister. And you almost dropped this little motherfucker. you know. But what switched in his mind was, well, I have to put on a show real quick, you know. You have any idea that nigga Mike? Oh my goodness, you know, the biggest thing of all time. I wouldn't be surprised, and listen, I've always kept this shit in hiding, but there's no point anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if the nigga Mike wasn't told to somebody, hey, if you're a white, you will make way more money. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came up and said that to him, you know. But regardless, Mike would have, I mean, it's how it played out. Mike would have been destined regardless, you know. And it was just, I don't know, out of all the kids from the Jacksons, it's funny how Michael ended up becoming the one who wanted it the most, you know. They said, I forgot homeboy's name. Stevie, was it Stevie? One of them old school cats ended up making up a song, and Michael sang it, and then people would think that Michael really wrote the shit, you know what I mean? And he's like, man, I wrote that shit, you know what I mean? But it shows the skill level, you know, like I'm saying, pretty much, Mike was a grown man from the jump, even though he's fucking 6, 7 years old, you know, 8, 9, 10. Same thing with Mayweather. These dudes are grown men from the get-go, okay? So, when you are able, when you are that young, right, and you tend to touch stardom so fast, you know, once the money starts coming in, it comes in, especially for these two motherfuckers, right? Now, it's sort of like, for instance, for Mayweather, this is what I saw with Mayweather. What fight was that? I want to say it was the Corrales fight. At the end of the Corrales fight, you'll see Mayweather. Was it the Corrales? I want to say it was the Corrales fight. At the end of the fight, whatever, Mayweather ends up hugging his father and crying to him. Listen closely to what he says. He says, listen, Dad, seriously, I love you to death, okay? But this is my career right now. You know, I need Roger to be my trainer. I need you to understand that. He had his back turned. He says this. If you listen closely, you can hear it. He said, and his father is just patting his head like, I understand, man, I understand. You know, because it's in the moments, the heat of the moment. You got to see the fighting now and shit. But it's sort of like, to me, no bullshit. It's sort of like Floyd had to ask for permission to part ways from his father. He had to lay it down on the line to say, you know, I'm a grown man. This is my career, my life. He didn't say it like that. It was more like he was asking. You see what I'm saying? Because it showed how much of a hold Floyd Sr. had over, you know, the family. You see what I'm saying? With Joe Jackson, you have to understand, the man had 5 boys. You have to be a strict motherfucker to hold down 5 men. You're making 5 men in your home. Are you serious? You have to be in charge. They say he was abusive and shit. Nah. He had to hold it down. Yes, at times he probably overdid it. He was a drinker, whatever have you, you know. But, you know, to raise a family that big, and then I think, 3 sisters or some shit? 4 sisters? Please, the father has to be the man. You know, that's why I don't hate on Joe as much. I was very disappointed when he went up there and he just shitted all over Michael's funeral, talking about some DVD coming out. Nobody cared about that shit at the time. Even the man, the reporter who was standing there talking to him was just shocked. Like, I can't believe you're talking about this right now. But it took him a while to catch on. I saw it right away. You know, whatever. What I'm saying is, this man Joe Jackson ended up raising a grown man from the jump. He was already a grown man, and he ain't realized the same thing with Floyd Sr. You raised Floyd as a grown man from the jump, You know, that day when he parted ways, they wiped this. When he turned around, he was bawling tears, bawling because he had to tell, you know, his father, listen, man, you know, you just came back. I've been doing this, you know. I got to do this now. You know what I mean? I'm not certain if it was a Corrales, but like I said, he was asking for permission. Same thing with Michael. At one point, you know, Joe wanted everything, and Mike had to come to a realization that, you know, I'm getting raped over here, you know. I'm doing so much, and I'm not, you know, there was a big blow-up, if you guys remember, about Mike wanting to leave town to go live in L.A., and Joe wasn't feeling it, you know. And Mike ended up making the trip, whatever have you, but I'm pretty sure he had to, you know, there was some form of permission to go do this. You see what I mean? Permission to lay around legends, to learn, you know, to just become who Michael Jackson is to this day, you know what I mean? But anyway, so to get back to what I'm saying, same thing with Floyd Mayweather. You know, when Mayweather grew up, once the money hit, it's sort of like when you're young, okay, think about it like this. When these two guys are young, very, very young, they don't have everything, you know. Not to say that they're poor, you know. What I'm saying is to the fact that they don't get all the extras that, you know, being a child has to endure. You know, when you're a child, you tend to attack life totally differently, and you make mistakes to where, you see what I mean, you learn from your mistake and then you move on, you know. With these guys, they had a system already in place to where they had to follow, you know. They didn't have a choice, you see what I mean? There was no going outside getting beat up by your friends and then, you know what I mean, and then realizing that you can fight too or learning how to fight or, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is they lack the prize when it comes to being a child, okay? Now, people will say that, well, it don't matter. Look at these guys. Look at how they made out, you know? They said the Serena sisters, their father was super strict. Look how they made out, you know? That's what people would say, you know? But to be honest with yourself, you have to realize that, you know, they ended up becoming a child later on. You see what I mean? It's backwards. You don't have everything when you're a child, when you're supposed to get everything. Then when you become a man, you have to go get everything. You see what I mean? When these guys, they're already a man when they're young. When they become rich, famous, they act like children. It's a mental process. You see what I mean? It's good in a sense because you're, you know, rich, obviously, icon figure, both of these motherfuckers. But in the same sense, you're mentally damaged still. It's true. This is what I see. This is the body language that you have to, that, you know, a typical black man will realize. You know, we are always on cue that the world is. People will say, yo, the world's gonna end soon. Motherfucker, we've been thinking that. Any given moment we feel the world's gonna end. I live my life on the edge. I don't know about y'all niggas, and my niggas and niggas in the hood know it. We live our life on the edge. Any given moment it's the end of the world, nigga. Fuck a date. Nigga, you die any day, nigga. What the fuck is you talking about, nigga? Fuck out of here. But back to what I was saying, man, you know, these guys became children later on in their careers. When they became grown men, that's why you see Floyd sometimes running around like a child, like, I do this, and I got this, and I got this. And it's something like a little kid would do, right? Like, straight up, like, Black Vince just brought this up to me. It was just something that, and I'm just, you know, going a little bit further. It was just something that a little kid would do. It's sort of like Christmas morning. Yo, I got this truck, I got this game, I got this, you know what I mean? Seriously, you see what I'm saying? And even though these are high-priced items, it's the same effect. You know what I mean? You burning money in the club, it's something a child would do. You know what I mean? Because same thing with Michael, you know, bringing the whole, you got Disneyland and all that shit in your backyard, like, Neverland, it's something a child would do, because you didn't get the opportunity to experience these things like you would have if you were just a normal child. See what I mean? You would go to the fair. You don't need to bring the whole fair to your house. But as a child, I was like, oh shit, that nigga got a whole fucking amusement park, nigga, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Straight up. Like, it's the truth. Same thing with Floyd, I got this, and I'm going here, and I'm over here, and I'm over here, it's something like a child would do. You know what I mean? You don't need to brag. We know. You know what I mean? We know already. I remember when Cribs first came on, when I first saw Cribs and I saw Mayweather, he was like on the opening scene, like, how they're just going through, and the introduction of Cribs, you'll see Floyd pointing at the camera with mad jewelry on, like, I'm the man, da-da-da-da-da. You can't hear him, but I'm sitting there, this is before I even knew who Floyd was. I'm like, well, who the fuck is that little nigga? You know what I mean? He talking mad shit. That's real talk. First time, like, really watching Cribs back in the day, I didn't know who Floyd was way before, but I know who Floyd was, and that nigga was already talking mad shit. But, like I said, it's something a child would do, okay? This is the luxury that you have of being broke. This is the luxury that you have of, growing up in an ordinary society, okay? Don't ever think, oh, I want to be like that. No, you don't. Be glad that you grew up to where you are, okay? What I'm saying is, when you're young, you're a child, you end up becoming, you're going to be an adult longer than you're a child. So when you're a child, you make mistakes. Even when you're 16, 17, you're a child. You make mistakes. You end up realizing from your mistakes, and then you put away your mistakes. When I was a child, I did childish things. When I became a man, I put away childish games. It's the truth, When I was a child, I acted, I thought like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. That's the truth. So, when you're young and you end up doing something stupid, you end up learning and converting over to being a man. To say, I'm no longer a child. I can't do childish things anymore. You see what I mean? And that's why I keep on trying to tell you YouTube niggas. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to call shit how it is. Maybe as a child I would have just stuck with my favorite, but being a man and understanding now, I'm going to call it how it is. And that's what I see with these guys, Since they were already men in the beginning, they ended up becoming children toward the end. Now, don't get it twisted. Floyd does understand. He is a father. He does understand, but the child will always be in him. Because you also, think about it. With these guys, Michael Jackson and Floyd, you had the money to do anything that a child could possibly dream of. Yes, you have the ordinary. I got to buy a house, I got to provide. But, I have more than enough to provide for. So I'm gonna get all the things that I would love to get. You see what I mean? That I would have been able to experience as a child. I'm going to get them now. And in far more advanced conditions. You get a little truck, a little car to play with. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm done playing with that. Now you got a fucking, a fucking Bentley sitting outside. Okay, I'm done with that. I want the Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? It's the same ordeal, But that's what I see with these two, man. I see that these guys never had the luxury of being, of being children, having the advantage of having a childhood. They were automatically adults in the beginning. So that's why you see some sort of, you see Floyd acting like a child sometime, and you wonder why that is as a true diehard fan. But it's just the reverse, psychological. It's just a reverse psychological, interventions that their fathers have put upon them. I mean, I don't know what else to say. These guys have manipulated their sons to make them say, you are going to do this, and you don't have a choice. As a father, as raising a household, as bringing all you people that don't have children. Can you imagine taking out money from your pocket and feeding the table every single night? Can you imagine that? Don't let them eat breakfast in the morning. You better get some Pop-Tarts. Seriously. You know, it's no joke raising a family. Don't sit here and just be, oh, well, you got kids. Motherfucker. You have any idea? I got to come up my pocket every night? Dollar Menu City. But seriously, man, I mean, you know, I can't fault the fathers for doing what they did. I do salute the children for, you know, taking their own path, you know, because Floyd could have just went back with his father and trained with him, but Floyd came to reason and said, yo, I got to be my own man. I mean, I love you, Dad. I love you to the death, but this is my career. I got to do this. I hope you understand this. He says this. He's like, all right, I understand. You know, and if this was behind closed doors, I don't think Senior would have been able to do, would have disagreed fully. You see what I'm saying? He would have disagreed by a long shot, you know? If Floyd had said this, like, you know, just in the house by him and his dad in there, you're right. You ain't going nowhere, nigga. I did this. I started, you know what I mean? All that would have came out. But you did it right there on center stage, and it was a big moment. It was a big accomplishment in your career. I want to say it might have, was it? Nah, it wasn't the Janelle Hernandez fight. It was one of them fights. Go check him out, man. But he just reasons with him and tells him that, you know, he's no longer going to be, you know, part of this. He's going to be with Roger. At one point, I think Michael Jackson had to really reason with his mother to reason with his father to let him go to live in California around all the greats, you know. Go check out that Michael Jackson special. It's like a 2-hour special. Shit is phenomenal. It gets all the way down, nitty-gritty, all the way to the end. And, you know, when you see Floyd running around, you know, acting like a child, it's because, you know, mentally he still has a lot of childish, you know, antics in him because he never got to experience it when he was a child, if you understand what I mean. I'm out, man. I just had to speak on that. Fucking Dominic Sue, dirty-ass motherfucker. Fuck the Lakers and the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowgirls. Straight up, I don't give a fuck.